My aspiration to become an Air Force pilot began at very early in age. It was a very unusual circumstance. I was a child of very, very poor parents, and we moved about in Central California picking crops. And when I was in third grade, the teacher held me over late one afternoon, and she said, Henry, because you speak Spanish at home is no reason for you not to learn to speak English here. She said, I'm going to keep you in this class until you can. And on that day, she took a card, wrote a little poem on it, and gave it to me as a present. I've never forgotten Miss Nealmeyer or her poem. Dream your dreams upon a star. Dream them high and dream them far. For the dreams that we dream in youth make us what we are. I thought that it had to do with aviation, with flying. High, far, stars, and I began thinking about being a pilot at that age. I'm sure that you and everyone else will agree that some little guy looking like a discarded rag pile out in the middle of a vegetable field and thinking about being a pilot isn't thinking. He's dreaming. But I pursued my dream, and so I said to myself, mud, flood, or blood, you're going to stay in this program even if it kills you. And it wasn't easy because I took all my flying training in Arizona, from Phoenix to Tucson to Douglas. And Douglas was right on the border, and it doesn't take much imagination to picture all of the slurs and insults and the bad jokes I had to endure in those days. But I just counted it as part of the price for being there. Fortunately, I had someone who was smarter than I was who encouraged me. I'm sure that there were many other Mexican kids who felt exactly the way I did at the moment, that they couldn't make it. And I'm sure that there were many people in the positions of authority that made sure they couldn't make it if they did try. But some of us were able to slip through, those people. What I think was more difficult for me was that I'm darker. I never did see anyone as dark as I in an officer's uniform, other than black officers. So I was always someone different. You know, people would always approach me with a little feeling of, who the hell is this? Later on, when I was in the 100th Bomb Group, we had another Mexican pilot. His name was Genaro Delgado. He was from Arizona, and he was flying next to us on the 7th of April, 1945, when a German plane flashed through the formation, shot up their right wing route where the number 3 engine and the wheel is, and it caught on fire. And as they turned back, they dropped their bombs and turned back toward home. The only thought that went through my mind is, well, there goes 50% of the Mexican pilots in the 100th Bomb Group. When I took my first trip down to Mexico, I went down to Mexico City. It was after I'd retired, and I drove down and I checked into the Ritz Hotel in downtown Mexico City, and I immediately went out for a walk up the Paseo de la Reforma to see, to experience Mexico City. And I hadn't gone 2 blocks when I felt this sense of relief. It was like somebody had lifted a 50-pound sack off my back. And I finally realized that it was because I was among Mexicans, I didn't have to be on my guard. I was there among people who weren't judging me, and I clearly remember I wanted to climb on top of one of those huge monuments and stand up there and face north and say, "God damn you." You gave me all those medals. Why is it I have to come down here to feel like a man? That's how I felt. They give you the medals, and yet they discriminate. And that's the way it is, folks. We're not over it yet.